The boys are over. They're done. No more boys. Sorry, fellas. The Boys season 4 has wrapped. It's done now. I don't know how many more ways I could say this. The Boys is done. I've done it again. This is one of those shows that I think, it's a bit of a slam dunk. Like, I wasn't worried about the show going into it. I didn't have any machinations that the show wasn't going to be great and that I wasn't going to enjoy it, and safely and comfortably it was great. I just knew it would be. Despite the obvious outcry that is going on at the moment, I'm not 6, so I don't really care about that. I just really enjoyed the show. I had a very good time with the show from start to finish, and it's kind of hard to review. It's one of the reasons I stopped doing the shorts reviews, because to be quite frank with you, like, every episode is good, every episode is solid, and I don't have anything like particularly illuminating to say about the show other than I would recommend it because it's just very confidently good. I will say that I think I preferred season 3. I don't think this is the strongest season. In fact, I think it may be one of the weaker ones. It has nothing to do with the subject matter or anything like that, which we will get to in a minute. It's just, I felt as though 3 had, like, I really liked Soldier Boy, and I really liked the sort of theming. Obviously, there was no episode as good as Herogasm in this season. I felt as though 3 was wild, but, like, I don't know, also had some interesting theming. I love the way that it went back in time and sort of explored how cyclical everything was. Season 4 does feel a little bit more sort of invented out of necessity than any of the other seasons. You know, you have Sage now popping up and just, like, giving you a reason to continue the show. Like, oh yeah, well, you have everything you want, but what if there was more? And obviously that's the backbone of the season. It doesn't feel entirely forced. It doesn't feel forced at all, really, because there's still plenty to do. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't feel as clearly motivated as 1, 2, or 3. However, the backbone of the season is still very interesting, very engrossing, and as I said, it doesn't feel invented or made up. It's happening for a reason, and that's fantastic. Obviously, the subject matter here is different. I'm like the butcher. Where's me son? With season 1, they dealt with superheroes sort of doing too much with their power, and just like the overall aspect of, like, what if they were real, and navigating the stupidity of the society that we have now. With season 2, they immediately dove headfirst into, like, over exaggerated sense of grandeur and how powerful can one be, and someone being weaponized by a bad person. And with season 3, it was about, like, trying to deal with that and trying to find a light at the end of the tunnel and squash this awful poisoned mind that also contains a bunch of power. Season 4 is definitely about what can happen when someone with power is poisoned mentally and, you know, becomes wrapped up in a very cult-like state. And also, let's be honest, let's just say it how it is. It's a huge reflection and a huge mirror on the current American society and what's going on over there. And it does it well. It sort of pushes it to its very limit. It gives us a window into how far things could go and won't go because we don't have superheroes. It takes it to its ultimate limit, to its maximum limit. So a lot of the things that happen in the show in this season are things that are reflections of things that are happening in the US right now. You know, very famously, Firecracker is based off of that politician. I can't remember her full name, but it's like got a few barrels in it. The gun conventions are things you see all the time. The podcasts, the think pieces, the news broadcast. I mean, it's all stuff that's reflections of stuff that's going on in the US right now. And I think it's so ironic that, and I think it's excellent timing that, you know, obviously things are really ramped up over there now, and things that are happening in The Boys are sort of coming true in America proper. Obviously, we have the assassination attempt of Trump that I won't get into. It came just a few weeks after there was an episode where obviously Homelander had set up someone being a martyr and whatever you think of the shooting itself, you cannot deny that Trump has become a somewhat of a martyr in this situation. There are people who are saying they're going to vote for him purely because he was almost shot. This is exactly what The Boys is dealing with. It's a testament to how well done this is and how observant the writers have been. Well, you really don't have to be that observant to notice what's going on, but how observant the writers have been that they're able to nail this in the way that they did. And I think, not to get too into it, but I think it's very ironic that people are saying that, like, this is ridiculous and I hate this show because this is wild and it's not what we're really like and they're just exaggerating. Meanwhile, the things that are happening in the show are happening in real life. So actually, by the looks of it, from where I'm looking, they're doing a pretty good job of being realistic, actually. But it does poke fun. It definitely pokes fun. And I think a lot of people have realized that the show they like is not a show that likes them, and so they've backed out. But it is it definitely punches down. As a show, it is not afraid to punch down, and punch down hard. It's very on the nose with its dislike for, you know, what's happening in the US right now with all of these alt-right lunatics and what have you. And again, the show is about reaching the ultimate limit of where that could possibly go. I mean, we've dealt with Nazis and power fantasies and what have you, and now we're bringing it back to earth, and this is what it could be, or what it could be if it reached its ultimate limit. Yes, I think it's good. It was a very bloody season. I think Anthony, oh god, what is his surname? I'm going to kill myself with this. Is it Starr? The Homelander is giving his best performance yet in this season. He has been tremendous. And I actually think that pretty much every character has given their best performance so far. I mean, Carl Urban as the Butcher is always going to be the same. He plays like the sort of like bordering on so cheeky it's almost cringy character. Starlight gets to like perform slightly differently to what we're used to. Do I love it? Not really, but you know, it is what it is. Huey continues to play the same character, but I do think he gets some, you know, sort of more emotional chops here, and the same can be said for Simon Pegg. I could go through the whole cast, but I'm not going to. I think Mother's Milk had his best performance in this season too. It's a lot more emotional than usual. It's honestly a little bit more uplifting and positive and optimistic. This season felt a lot more optimistic than the previous ones. And before I slap a score on this, I just want to say a big fuck you to all of the people complaining and saying that Frenchie was gay, and this came out of nowhere, and they were pissed off that, you know, he didn't get with Kamiko. And if you've watched the show, you'll know why I'm saying a big fuck you. One of the characters is now bi. They never confirmed that this character was straight at any point, because that was all wasted energy. You didn't wait until the end of the show, and now you look stupid. I mean, you look stupid to begin with. So let's put a score on this one. No, it's not a perfect score. No, it's not an astronomical score, because I don't think it does anything particularly like amazing or groundbreaking. And I think much higher scores are reserved for shows and stuff like that will be groundbreaking and do something new. But I think what it does do is excellent and very well executed. And there's lots of action and blood and nudity and violence, and it's a hell of a ride, as it always is. And if you like the previous seasons, you'll like this one. So I'll see everyone later.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.